Hello everyone. 2018 is finally about to be over, so I thought it would be appropriate to do a kind of year-in review vlog, taking stock of things and talking about some of the plans I have for the future of the channel, and also I just kind of want to be grateful for a little bit, so I hope you'll indulge me. Now, if this video seems very long, don't worry, I have separated it into sections. If all you want to know about is the future plans for the channel, you can head into the description and click the appropriate timestamp to get the info you want. We're going to be tackling this in 4 sections. In part 1, we'll do a quick recap of the year because it's been a bit of a whirlwind and I kind of want to document how I'm feeling and what's even going on. In part 2, we'll talk about plans for 2019, including some ideas for new videos and plans for a regular schedule of streaming. Then, in part 3, we'll talk about the money, which is never fun, but it is necessary. If you are a Patreon supporter, you're going to want to watch this bit because I'm going to be making some changes to my Patreon campaign in 2019. Finally, in part 4, I'm going to give thanks and just be a little sappy and thankful for a while. So, at the start of 2018, I was not in a great situation. I've been earning money as a freelance artist and illustrator and comic artist for years, but going into 2018, I had lost a major part of my regular income, and I was genuinely staring down a lot of uncertainty about how I was going to be paying my bills for the rest of the year. I wasn't panicking yet, but I was getting close. Then, in February or March, I don't know what happens or why, but rather suddenly, this channel takes off. It gains something like 10,000 subscribers in a single month. I don't know if the algorithm had a fit or what happened, but boom, all of a sudden, lots of people, and the channel starts actually helping me pay my rent. All of a sudden, without planning for it, I have a way to support myself, and so I just kind of jump on it and try to keep making videos and build an audience, and now it's like 9 months later, and I'm still kind of running to catch up with myself and figure out how to do this thing for a job and make it last. It's probably one of the luckiest breaks of my entire life, and I still have pretty much no idea what I'm doing. In May, I create the channel's Discord server, kind of on a whim, just because some people asked me to, and it grows a lot bigger, a lot faster than I ever thought it would. Much like the channel itself, it's something that I'm still kind of running to try and catch up to, but the community that's emerged on that server has honestly also been one of the best things about doing this for a job, all of a sudden. Not that there haven't been any issues with it, and I haven't been able to interact with the Discord nearly as much as I wanted to, but just being able to see the artists on there collaborating and sharing feedback and people posting memes and shit posting and playing around, it's honestly been kind of wonderful to see that play out. And so we come to the end of the year, which ends on a somewhat lower note than it started on. As many of you know, I lost my grandmother in November, and besides that, there's been a lot of things in my personal life that have been tough or stressful, and it's all kind of knocked me out at the end of the year. And I can feel that my depression and anxiety has been haunting me. Now, before anyone gets worried, I'm okay. I'm not struggling alone. I have people around me, and I'm gonna be fine, but the year has definitely had a bit of a downer ending for me, and, you know, that kind of thing happens. I'm dealing with it partly by trying to be optimistic for 2019 and trying to make plans for how to make it all better. Which leads us on to... Like I said, December has been kind of a downer month for me, and I've been doing a lot to try and catch up on things that got lost in the chaos when the YouTube channel took off. I've been doing a lot of commissions, I've been reaching out to people who I owed work to or haven't responded to the emails and stuff like that, and that's been consuming most of my time in December, which is part of the reason why there haven't been that many videos. So the plans I'm going to be talking about here for 2019 are not set in stone yet. I haven't had a lot of time to develop them yet, but I do have a few things in mind. For example, streaming. People have been asking me to do it more, and I've been testing the waters by streaming myself recording footage for Dark Souls and the occasional Nintendo Direct reaction stream. In 2019, though, we are going to be streaming regularly, probably on the weekends, so that people can keep up across time zones, and for the moment, I plan to continue streaming Dark Souls and maybe play some Darkest Dungeon, but I also want to do more stuff to interact with the viewers, to interact more with you guys. Maybe that means playing games with some of you, or maybe that means doing some kind of a live chat hangout thing. I don't 100% know. If you have any suggestions or ideas or just wishes for things that you would want to see happening on a stream, please leave it in the comments down below. Next up, videos. As far as I can make up from the statistics on the channel, in order to keep the channel growing and keep the ad revenue relatively steady, I need to be uploading pretty often. Something like every 2 or 3 days seems to be about the right amount, so that's the goal I'm going to be shooting for. 2 or 3 videos, like the videos every 2 or 3 days, basically. Most of that will be videos like the What's the Deal series and my usual stuff analyzing characters and lore content for various video games, but I'm hoping to throw in more properly edited video essays as well. I found an editor named Lex to help me earlier this year. They did really great work on my Overlord video essay, and I'm going to be trying to bring them on to help me out more in the new year, so that I can just write scripts and do voiceovers and I don't have to do the editing, which takes a hell of a long time and makes it hard for me to keep up my output. Now, editing does cost money, so how many video essays I can make is unfortunately going to depend somewhat on how much the channel and the Patreon grows over the course of the year. The boss designs of Dark Souls is also going to continue. I've become very fond of making that series, even if, unfortunately, at the moment, it just doesn't get a ton of views. So it's probably not going to be a major priority, because other things will, make more of a return for me, but I will continue making it. And speaking of Dark Souls, one of the most requested games for me to talk about on the channel is Bloodborne, and I definitely want to, but before I can do videos about Bloodborne, or any console game, I need to have a decent capture card. And at the moment, I don't even own a crappy one. So sometime in 2019, I think I might do like a donation thing or a fundraising drive to help pay for a decent capture card so I can make videos about console games as well. I'm not gonna lie, I have been desperate to do videos about Breath of the Wild and Smash and Mario Odyssey, so hopefully that's a thing we can get done sometime in the new year. And that's about it on plans that I have for 2019 right now. Again, if you have any wishes or suggestions, please put them in the comments. I do still read all of my comments and I do moderate them, to make it a nice place to be, and I would really appreciate the feedback. Which leads us on to... here comes the fun thing to talk about. As I've mentioned, right now, between ad revenue and the Patreon, I am making enough to get by, but the unhappy truth is, that's not gonna be enough. Right now, I can pay my bills and have food, but I don't have any savings. I don't have a safety net. If for some reason YouTube decided to delete my channel tomorrow, I would be entirely screwed. In the long term, I have student loans that need to be serviced, and there are going to be unexpected expenses happening in my life. Things that I own will break and need to be replaced. I need to go to the dentist sometimes. I have asthma, which requires regular medication, and sometimes things just happen. Expenses just happen. Most of my family lives like 4 hours away by train, and just going to see them is also expensive. So if anything happens in my family, that's a big chunk of money just to go and help them out with that. The YouTube channel taking off saved my ass, but it saved it in the short term. If this is going to work long term, I need to make more money. And I hate having to say that because it sounds greedy and ungrateful, and I am already getting more support than I could ever have hoped for from my audience. Sitting here being like, I need more, like some kind of money golem, is not a great feeling. But as much as I may hate it, it is necessary. I can't make videos if I can't make rent. The point of me bringing this up is to tell you that in 2019, well, first of all, I need to make more videos. I need to keep the channel growing, and that might mean I have to do a bit of trend chasing as well, and talk more about stuff that's going to show up in the YouTube search algorithm. I might have to talk about, Fortnite. I also have to push the Patreon more, and I have to self-promote more, which I hate doing, but it is again necessary, and in order to push the Patreon, it's going to have to change. If you are currently supporting or planning to support the Patreon, first of all, thank you. And I'm going to write a proper post sometime around the start of the new year detailing the changes that I have in mind. But for right now, I'm going to give you a broad outline of how it's going to change so you can decide for yourself if you need to cancel your pledge or change your plans, which is completely okay. Basically, I'm going to be de-emphasizing art commissions as rewards. There's a few reasons why, but the main reason is it just isn't sustainable for me to offer those on top of everything else I'm doing. I literally don't have the time to do art commissions on top of everything else. Now, if you've been donating to save up for an art commission, I'm not going to take that away. But for the tiers below the $20 tiers, it's going to be reduced or removed completely in the new year. I'm going to try and do commissions for as many people who were saving up for them before as possible, and details about that will be coming in the new year, but it's going to be going away. In order to make up for taking the art commissions away, I'm going to be adding some different new rewards instead. Mostly things that are more related to the YouTube channel. I want to make the voting for video topic thing more of a thing and, actually do more videos based on suggestions from the Patreon. And I might offer stuff like personalized critique on your own creative work or private hangouts on stream and things of that nature. If you are a Patreon supporter, I'd really want to hear from you about what kinds of rewards that you want. So please post about that on Patreon or email me or put it in the comments down below. Okay, that's the money talk out of the way. Always my least favorite part of this damn job. Which means it's time for... So here we are at the unscripted portion of the video. I'm looking at exactly the same thing you're looking at right now. I'm just sitting here looking at the scroll of Patreon supporters going by. And I wanted to give them extra long time to scroll on this particular video because, I do owe them a lot. I genuinely do. But I wanted to talk a little bit about gratitude. And emotionally, what all of this has meant to me, what all of you have meant to me, because I try to be very careful about not doing too much of the parasocial relationship thing. Like I don't want to give the impression that we are all one big family and we're all very close and we all love each other and I consider you all my friends. Let's be honest with each other, I don't know who most of you are. And most of you don't really know me except as a voice that talks over stuff on YouTube. That's, that is the nature of the relationship, and it's important to be clear-eyed about that. And at the same time, at the start, like I said at the start of the video, at the start of the year, I was kind of in dire straits. Like, I was gonna be fine, because, I have a family who can help me, and I have, it's not like I was completely without any safety nets, but I was staring down the thought of not being able to pay my rent, of not being able to sustain myself as a working adult, and being that I am mostly an artist and a creative person and stuff like that, it's like I don't have a ton of job skills. I have academic skills and I have artistic skills, but just, going out and getting a normal job is not the easiest thing in the world. And so I was staring down a lot of uncertainty, and the channel taking off happened like a miracle. From my perspective. Of course, there's no miracle to it. It's the algorithm did a thing and some videos I made got popular and that. There's a reasonable explanation for all of it, but from my perspective, it was like 10,000 people all of a sudden showed up to help me. To some extent. It really did feel like this gift from, I won't say God, but this gift from the universe, if you will, that all of a sudden this became a viable thing that could help me pay my rent, that people would start supporting me on Patreon and watching the videos and sharing the videos and commenting and helping me. And that's, I think, as a YouTube viewer, it can be really hard to feel like you really matter to the YouTuber in question, because like you're one person and maybe they get 100,000 views per video, and it's hard to feel like that matters very much. But at least in my case, I can say honestly, it does matter. Like, not that I sit around counting every single view or, you know, giving thanks for every single view, but just people watching my thing matter. Like, it feels like my work isn't pointless, you know? I make stuff and I put it online and people watch it and people see it and people think about it. Even if they disagree with me, even if they think I'm stupid or that my opinions are bad or whatever, they watch my thing and they think about it and they engage with it, and it feels like it feels like my work isn't pointless. Not that my work matters, like, oh, I'm saving the world kind of thing, but just that it isn't pointless. That it does at least entertain people. It gives people something to watch and view, and it makes some kind of positive difference in the world. And that's when I look at the YouTube stats and I look at the views on videos and stuff like that, that's what they mean, is that, okay, hey, I have, in a very tiny, small way, I have done something today that has been good for someone, that has helped someone entertain themselves for half an hour or however long my overlong videos tend to be. And getting to feel that way is because like I said, I've worked as a creative person for like as a freelancer and an artist for a long time, and getting an audience is hard. Finding people who want to see your work is hard, and finally finding that is it matters a lot more to me than I even think I thought it would. It really does. I guess the point I'm trying to get at, as always, is thank you. Like, not just if you support on Patreon, although certainly thank you extra much to you guys, because you do go above and beyond, but to all of you for making my work not pointless. You know, for making it more than just something I'm doing for myself because I have opinions and I must talk about this cartoon or this video game, but that it's something that's in whatever small way is also good for you. Like that also makes you some level of happy. That is a gift. And I mean, I also said in the video, my year has ended on kind of a sour note. You know, I lost family, and like some of you may know I keep rats as pets, and they don't live very long, and I've lost a couple of them this year as well, which has been hard. I lost them to disease, and there's been stuff in my personal life that I'm not going to discuss here because it's not really my place necessarily to discuss all of it, but things that have been rough and that have eaten away at my energy, and I think about how if I hadn't had this to kind of push me up a little bit, like this feeling of doing work that in some small way matters. If I hadn't had that, and I think about where I would be, like mentally, I don't think I would have been in like a dangerous depression or anything, but I think I would have been a lot worse off. I don't think I would have been doing so good, to be honest. if this hadn't come along and saved my ass, I think I would be in a kind of a dark place, and I'm really happy that I don't have to go there. Because, again, it's not like I know each of you individually. It's not like we have any kind of a relationship outside of you just watch the things I put on the internet, but it helps that you were here. However little you were here, however little you watched, however little you pressed the like button or commented, it helped that you were here. And I hope my work has been good for you too, as it were. So, yeah. Jesus Christ, I've been rambling for 10 minutes almost. I guess I just wanted to say thank you. I guess that's what I wanted to do. That's why I was rambling. I just wanted to say thank you, and I just wanted to find some way to explain why I mean it when I say that. Like, it's not just some YouTuber, jerking off over his subscriber count. At least I'm trying not to be. It is something that's a bit more than that. So thank you. Thank you so very much.